Mr. Cohen.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? Great. You know, my hearing is bad. How's everybody doing today? Great. All right. Before we begin, I would like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Anybody seen a quarter horse? Yeah, I got one right here for you. Here's a quarter horse. Yeah, it's real. And you know what? I got somebody else here too. The laziest rooster you ever saw. His name is Charlie. Now, what Charlie does, he is so lazy. What he'll do, he'll lean up against the fence with a piece of straw in his beak. He waits till the sun comes up. And when the neighbor's rooster crows, he just nods his head. How many of you here remember Gene Autry? There we go, Gene Autry. Okay, well, he wrote what's called the Cowboy Code, about what it took to be a cowboy. And he wrote that for boys and girls just like you that wanted to be just like him. Gene Autry, right there. And it has to do with telling the truth, being honest, respecting others, tipping your hats to the ladies. And this is it, the Cowboy Code. The cowboy must never shoot first, hit a smaller man, or take a better advantage. He must never go back on his word, or a trust confided in him. He must always tell the truth. He must be gentle with children, the elderly, and animals. He must not advocate or possess racially or religiously intolerant ideas. He must help people in distress. He must be a good worker. He must keep himself clean in thought, speech, action, and personal habits. He must respect women, parents, and these nation's laws. And number 10, my personal favorite, the cowboy is a patriot. Thank you. Now there's a fella, anybody remember hearing the name of Charlie Russell? There we go. He was the great painter of the West. And there's a friend of his that wrote a poem about him. He wrote 3 of them. And this one's called In Memory. In memory of our artist, Charles M. Russell, laid to rest. But he left us consolation in these pictures of the West. But the old West, as he saw it, too, has passed away. And the pioneers of yesteryear are gone, or turning gray. He was a lover of the rangeland and his old Montana home, where he could talk with friends and cronies on his Monty Hossy room. With friends that rode the ranges on their wild Mustang steeds, would circle on a roundup, help mill the old stampede. Made it easy for Ned to recall upon the days of long ago. And he spread it out on canvas in a large studio. And there he sat and painted pictures of reality, the days of yore. Those paintings by C.M. Russell of a West that is no more. Thank you. Wow, you're a great crowd, both of you. Now, Charlie didn't do a lot of writing, but he did write a very short verse, and it's untitled, and he wrote it in 1917. The West is dead, my friends, but writers hold a seed. And what they saw will live and go, again, by those who read. Thank you. Now, I was talking to friends of mine the other day, both of them, and to make a long story incredibly longer, I was telling them about this nephew of mine I think a lot of, and he works for the Shell Oil Company. Along about 4 years ago, they moved to South America, and I haven't seen him since. But he thinks a lot about me and Ma Crabapple, and well, every year for Christmas he sends us a nice present. And we'll get this. This year he sent us a live bird, a great big one too. That fella standing on my shoulders, by golly, I'll bet he stood about that tall. Gorgeous thing, with long green tail feathers on him, one of the big old can opener beaks, a little top notch up there. Just absolutely beautiful. He was very friendly and very talkative too. Well, I gotta tell you something. That bird was delicious. Yes, sir. Well, we had him for Christmas dinner. Served with dressing and cranberry sauce. Sweet potato stuff. Well, after Christmas, Nick called, wanted to know if we got the bird. Said, yep, and we got him all right. Wanted to know how I liked him. Said, liked him. I said, are you kidding? Said, that bird was delicious. Oh, my nephew, he about pitched a fit. He says, now wait a doggone minute. He says, you don't mean to tell me you ate that bird? I said, well, absolutely. He says, well, one root and two men. He goes, I paid a fortune for that bird. And he goes, that bird was worth a lot of money. Well, get this. About 20 seconds, I didn't hear a peep out of him on the other end of that phone. Pretty soon he pipes up and he says, that bird could speak 5 different languages. I said, well, he should have said something. Thank you. You know, I got a couple more here, and I'll give it to Uncle Bob. Okay, everybody remember Marty Robbins? Oh, look, Marty Robbins fans, by golly. Well, I've got some cash here, cold hard cash, right here in this box, for somebody that might be able to answer this question about Marty Robbins. Does anybody remember the song Big Iron? There it is. Can anybody tell me who that song was about?
Texas Ranger.
Say that again?
Texas Ranger.
Texas Riker. Supposed to be, pardon?
Texas Ranger.
Texas Riker.
Ranger.
Right.
Like long on Texas.
Okay. Yeah, that was his grandfather, Texas Bob Heckle. Correct? And his grandfather was also an Arizona Ranger prior to that. But you know what? I still got cash up there. Who was the 16th president of the United States? Come on up here, young man. You just won the prize. Anybody else remember that? Anybody else knew who that was? You come on up here. I've got cash for everybody. Come on up. Come on up. All right. You want this in the cash? Holy smokes. Okay. All right. Wow. One for you. Now don't spend this all in one place, okay? Save this for your college fund. All right. One for you. Wow, you guys gonna break the bank here. There you go. One for you. Big money. Big money. I got some small cash in there too. I may run out here. Okay, hold on. You guys still like me, right? Okay. All right. One for you, young lady. Put that in the bank, okay? There you go, young man. Behave yourself, right? One for you, sir. There we go. Everybody likes Abraham Lincoln, right? Abraham Lincoln said, "I will study and prepare myself, and when my chance comes, I will be ready." All right, guys. Thank you. Give those kids a hand. Thank you. Well, this one is Old Red, and Marty Robbins did this. It's a rodeo poem. And here it is. Old Red was one of the orneriest men I've seen at the big rodeo. He'd bite you and kick you and he'd stomp out your life. Old Red had never been rode. Meaner than sin and wild as the wind that blew on the Montana plains. Old Red was one of the last of his group. He wasn't about to be tamed. From Idaho, a young cowboy came to ride in a big rodeo. Well, this young cowboy's name was Billy McLean. And Billy had never been thrown. The greatest desire filled young Billy's heart to ride this old outlaw called Red. Well, he drew one day and I heard Billy say, "All right, he would drop over dead." Old Red was wicked down there in the chute. He was kicking and stomping about. But Billy climbed into the saddle with ease and yelled, "Let him loose! Turn us out!" Old Red came out with his head on the ground, and his back hooves were touching his nose, trying to get rid of the man on his back. But the man went wherever he goes. Billy was raking Old Red with his spurs from the tail to the tip of his chin. He was doing right well, but Billy could tell that this outlaw would never give in. Old Red was running straight for the fence. He suddenly stopped in, and then he reared on his hind legs and fell on his back, taking poor Billy with him. There was a hush in the crowd, and, well, they knew right there that this would be Billy's last ride. The saddle horn crushed Billy's chest when they fell, and under Old Red, Billy died. Old Red lay still. No more would he move it. The cowboys that seen it could tell. In trying to throw Billy off of his back, Old Red broke his neck when he fell. Out in the west is the place where they rest. This cowboy that never was throwed. And 1 foot away, resting underneath the clay, is the outlaw that never was rode. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I got one more for you here. How many of you here have dogs? Wow, look at that. Okay, everybody at the same time, I know you know this answer. How many years does a dog age compared to people, boys and girls? Everybody at the same time. 1, 2, 3. 7. All right, everybody wins. Okay, good. Anybody remember Walter Brennan? Probably not. You probably saw some of his movies. You look like a Walter Brennan fan. Oh, okay. Well, this is about old Shep, okay? And here it is with Walter Brennan. Now, when I was a lad, old Shep was a pup. Over hills and valleys we'd stray. Just a boy and his dog. We were both full of fun. We grown up together that way. And I remember the time at the old Sherman home when I would have drowned beyond doubt. But old Shep was right then. To the rescue he came. He jumped in and helped drag me out. Now the years rolled along and last he grew old. His body was getting weak and bony. And then one day the doctor looked up to me and he said, "I can't do no more for him, Tony." So with trembling hands I hoisted my gun and I aimed at old Shep's fateful head. But I just couldn't do it. I wanted to run. I wish they'd shoot me instead. So I hoisted my gun and I ran right up to his side. He laid his head right head on my knees. And friends, I just picked the best pal that a man ever found. I even cried so I scarce you could see. Now, old Shep, he knew he's gonna go. Because he reached out and he lifted my hand. Then he looked up to me just as much as to say, I hate it too, but you understand. The old shepherd's gone where the good doggies go, and no more with old shepherd will I roam. But if dogs have a heaven, there's one thing I know. Old shepherd has a wonderful home. Thank you, boys and girls. Thank you.